Do you know this about your child? Uh, and this is something we might think we know as parents, but do we really? And that is, what is your child's dreams? What do they hope for? What do they want for themselves and their lives? What are their interests that they want to explore?
Children are great by their very nature, and we have the privilege and responsibility of raising them. It can be challenging at times. Let's talk about it.
Hi, I'm Cynthia Armstrong. I'm a general and special education teacher. I homeschooled my own children for 5 years, and I talk about those things I've researched and I've studied, I've applied, and I've found what benefits myself, my children, and my students, and that I'd really love to share with you. Today, I'm talking about our children's dreams, those things that are of interest to them that they want to develop or have in their lives. Sometimes, as parents, we've kind of overridden some of their hopes or their dreams in pushing our agenda forward on them, and it's not out of spite, it's or anger, anything like that. It's most often when we do that, it's because we love our child and we want the best for them, and we think we know what that is for sure. and uh and we kind of will push or nudge or to a varying degree. Some of us, it could be a little bit, some of us, it could be a lot to for our children to become um, or to do the things that we want them to do. And we don't always stop and listen to what our child wants. And sometimes what our children could want can seem pretty outrageous or ridiculous, or how are you going to make a living off that ish? Right. And we stop and we try and uh, control then. Like we really truly will push them because we know what's best. Uh, but the damage to their hopes, their dreams, to what they feel they're capable of, to their learning experiences, can really be harmed when we do that. And so uh, I really would like you to consider and talk to your children. Find out what kind of things would they think is just fun, to do, to try, to become. What are some of those things for them? And sometimes uh, what has happened, especially like from a younger age, if um, we've pushed them towards certain things. And again, it's not intentional in a cruel way, but it is intentional in helping our children in a way that isn't always helpful. But sometimes if children have been told what to do or how to be for a certain length of time, or in younger ages or even older ages, they stop knowing what they want. It's not worth thinking about because it's not going to happen. They're always wrong, or somebody else is going to tell them what to do. So they'll stop dreaming, they'll stop um, looking for things outside of themselves, and they're in that waiting phase or that routine phase that they'll just keep going along. Uh, and so sometimes we'll think, well, they just don't have any. Well, no, everybody, everybody has dreams, but sometimes our children have buried it. And sometimes it's not us. It might be something a teacher said or a friend said without, again, meaning any harm or maybe even joking. But they take it and they interpret it in such a way that they kind of suppress their own thoughts and their own desires and their own dreams and just stick with what's routine or what other people tell them. So, is this something you know about your child? What are their dreams? Try and communicate with them. Try and ask them while you're driving in the car, while you're eating meals. Are you having those regular conversations where it's okay for them to talk about their dreams, however outlandish they may be, and to think about all the possibilities in life and what could happen? Because we still want to ask them questions. We still want to um, be an influence with them. And we can do that more when our children know that we hear them and that we um, know of their thoughts, their desires, their dreams, and we participate in helping them to achieve that uh, or and I know this can be really difficult because we have to let go of a lot of our expectations for our children, a lot of what we want for them and what we think is better. But even if they fall flat on their faces, to be supportive, because guess what? They had an opportunity to learn and an opportunity to be resilient. And that's not something we can always just say, now be resilient, and they learn. Sometimes it takes those opportunities. And what if, even if they fall on their face, we don't tell them, I told you so, but we help dust them off and encourage them for trying. And what is it that you want to try next? Was that what you thought it would be? Is there something else you would rather? And I know that can be really, really scary for us as parents to allow that for our children. But there are so many beneficial things that children learn that will help them to be successful, that can help them to find what really motivates them and what really drives them. And we can be there as that support, as that encouragement. And yes, if it's something completely, I don't want to say ridiculous because no dreams are ridiculous, but we can ask them, have you considered this? And when um, I talk with children, we can say, well, what are the most amazing things that can happen? And what's the worst that can happen? And when we talk about both and how both are good and try not to dwell on the worst that could happen, but just talk about both and say, what amazing, because we learn either way, whether we're get end up where we wanted to or whether we crash and fall on our face, we're learning. And so what an amazing thing to share with our children. And so really get to know your children and their hopes and their dreams and have that open space for some of the things that you might not have considered for them. Remember, children are great by their very natures, and we have that privilege and that responsibility to raise them.
Hi friends, Cynthia Armstrong here. Thanks for joining us today. Please make sure that you subscribe to our channel so you can see when new videos come out and like this one. It is such a responsibility and a challenge to raise great kids, and we are here to help you along that journey to make it as enjoyable and fun and fulfilling as possible. Please check out our website, www.raisinggreatkids.net, and I will leave that in the description below.